in. We're going to be talking about semi trucks, I-80, I-94. It's going to be a question and answer session. If I really want you to be good drivers, I got to get you more information. And we have some simple videos on the no zones in trucks, but a lot of you are going to be traveling deeper, out of state, and there's semi trucks across the country. And we've been seeing a lot of semi trucks on the road, and we see some that are 2 or 3 as we get closer to the city. They are more because semi trucks carry cars from the United States to Canada, the United States to Mexico, and we need semi trucks. And then if you can kind of focus your questions towards semi trucks and cars, and once we go through the discussion, I think you're going to have a bigger picture and a better understanding. That's what I really want to do as your instructor, is to push your thinking and elevate you to a higher level. And I'm going to go ahead and talk about this information. So what I did, I used Google Scholar, and I want to speak with knowledge. I want to speak through the NHTSA and the FMCSA. They're peer review articles. So people who are experts in semi trucks, cars, accidents, you're going to get a kind of a perspective, because we live in a cold weather region. And I'm going to have those questions up as I go along. And, you know, when it's cold, you don't want to be around trucks. Okay. I'm going to kind of go along with the first question. Should I not turn with semi trucks? First, you want to let the truck make the turn first. Trucks are wide. They're going to take up 2 lanes. You don't want to cut to the inside. I saw a car actually smashed on the curb because the truck tried to sneak inside. So we want to let trucks make turns. Don't cut them off. That's what I want you to remember. They move slower. We have a lot of young drivers, less than 5 years, 10 years experience. And a lot of these drivers go through truck driving school like you go through driver's ed school. It costs $3,000, $4,000, $7,000. You guys just paid like $500 or $600. But the older truck drivers are retiring. They're done. The newer truck drivers who are 21, 25, 27, 30, because I look at a lot of them on YouTube because it's very fascinating. They're female truck drivers making 40, 60, 70, 80, 90,000. They talk about their journey, traveling on the road at night, eating, getting the truck washed, loading up the truck, using their special truck GPS, right? Hey, E, how are you doing? So it's really exciting. And when you see a young person who's doing big things, right? Owning their own truck, or saying, hey, after 2 years, I'm going to buy this truck, and then I'm going to become a truck broker and get another. One time I drove a young lady, her grandmother drove her truck and bought her uncle's. So I had the privilege of sitting down with grandma on the porch and asking her questions. Wow. But also there is very strict standards. Okay. So make sure you just turn down your volume a little bit, please. And thank you. So I don't have that background. All right. I just muted. So she on that silly. Anyway. So if you don't mind traveling and controlling your own hours, you can make a lot of money, but it is kind of a lonely job. And my biggest fear is just falling asleep at the wheel, right? So let's look at black ice. Black ice is ice you can't see. So if you think it's hard in a car, imagine a truck weighing 80,000, 90,000, 100,000 pounds, and they're trying to not jackknife. So they're accidents on I-94, I-80, and you guys are not really aware because you're not really around big semi trucks. We've been around more trucks because we're on the expressway, we're driving, we're pushing, we're staying out of the no zones. I need all of you to type in, what are the no zones? This is your test review. Tell me what is a no zone and why we should stay out of it. Please type it in. Yes, a lot of people do get tired, and recently in Dallas, a truck driver killed 5 people. He fell asleep at the wheel. So as a result of that, this company will definitely get sued. They are a mail carrying company for the United Post Office, and this company was falsifying documents, and it's all going to come out in the news, and I will talk about that. but I want my drivers to be educated. I have friends who are truck drivers, and they have given me good information, so I'm sharing this with you. So we ask about the no zones. There are 4 no zones: left side, right side, front, and back. If you should pass your truck, you want to try to pass on the left. If you can't, then you want to get in and out of that blind spot as quick as possible. And I think a lot of us have seen, and you've told me, wow, that truck moves fast. They are pushing fast. They are pushing hard. And typically, if you're a young person, you're like, I want to be independent. I want to make my own money. I want to have my own trucking company in 5 years. So if I drive from 21 to 31, I'm going to have 5 trucks, 5 truck drivers, and then I'll make 300,000, 400,000. I'll get a U.S. mail contract. I'll get a Ford contract. I'll get a General Motors contract. And if you get that, you're set for life. Because I drove one young lady last year. Her dad and mom own several semi trucks. And Grace, they live near you. Okay, they live near you. And her dad, they got a couple of semi trucks. So they are doing it big. Okay. Whiteouts. This is when it's a really heavy snow. You don't want to follow the truck. You want to back up. You want to get room. And we think, man, that truck is big. I can keep pushing, but if it's hard for you to see, it's hard for the truck driver to see, right? Blowouts. We can't stop on I-94, but if we could, I picked up some of that big rubber from a tire blowing up before. It's big, huge chunks of rubber. And occasionally semi-truck tires do blow out. And if you are driving and each of your tires costs $500, I'm just picking a number, can somebody of you do research? How much do semi-truck tires cost? And put it into the chat. Again,
I'll do that.
Do that. My day is awesome. Jay, how are you? How's the job? Tell me some good news, Jay. We miss you. So semi-truck tires do blow up. 2 years ago, we were driving to Bowling Green, Ohio. My son was being recruited. We were driving from the Midwest to Bowling Green, Ohio. A semi-truck tire blew up, and it was a big cloud of smoke. I'm like, wow, it sounded like a gunshot. So Lex found out $300 to $700. Right? So imagine if you need 3 tires, okay? And that's a lot of money. So you can get a retread. They'll pull your tire off. They'll cut off the whole tread of the tire. They'll glue, hot glue with a special machine, tread on the tire, which is fine. But in some cases, that tire will come apart and you'll have a blowout. So if you have an owner of a trucking company that's cheap and not willing to get new tires, you're going to have a lot of blowouts. You're going to have a lot of failures. So that's really important, right? So you want to stay away from trucks. Have you guys seen a blowout before in a semi? If you have, put yes into the chat. If you've seen a blowout before, I'm going to type yes into the chat. I have. It's scary. I'll put yes in, okay? Potholes. We live in an area where if you think it's bad in the car, imagine that pounding, boom, 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 boom on tires. So potholes are very damaging to our suspension, the shocks, the springs, and semi-truck tires. I know how much the tire pressure is. Type in what is the required semi-truck tire pressure. Type it in and put it into the chat. Please. What is the correct pressure? Pounds per square inch. What is the correct tire pressure semi-truck tires must have? Okay, and our cars is 32. Sincere said 90 to 120 pounds. And as you drive on the interstate, the tire pressure goes up. In the wintertime, the tire pressure goes down. One person said 85 to 110. It depends on the type of semi-truck. It depends on what you're hauling. We can safely say anywhere from upper 80s to 110, 120. So now you're getting knowledge. So if that tire explodes, someone is going to get killed. Okay? So we're getting different answers, and you guys are just scouring the internet. Let's keep going. So potholes. Scan ahead, avoid swerving. And many of you say, oh, our roads, you got to watch potholes. Okay. And it's the summer right now. It's 95 degrees, right? We're chilling. But once the fall hits and the temperature drops, don't blame it on the trucks. That's a whole nother issue between the state and the governor and contractors. But we're going to have a freezing and thawing cycle, roughly 400 to 600, high quality 1200. If you're an owner of a trucking company, I think most of you would say, listen, we're going to get a tire that's anywhere from $600 to $800, right? So you have to balance your budget, okay? Low visibility. You don't want to tailgate trucks. We want to have room. You want to use your low beam and increase following distance. 8 tires per truck, per axle. Steep grades, we'll go uphill and downhill. So someone find out what a runaway truck ramp is. Please do that. Type in what a runaway truck ramp is.
I went to North Carolina this spring and I actually saw what they look like.
Brother, tell us.
So what a runaway truck ramp was when I was in North Carolina, like I was going back and forth between like multiple areas because we were doing mission work. Like our base camp was in one area and like 20 miles away was where we were doing our ministry work. So each time we drove, we passed 3 separate runaway truck ramps. Basically what they are, it's a long stretch of sand off the side of the highway, and it's like it slowly inclines upward. So and then the sand is made into mounds, like 2-foot mounds probably.
How are you doing? Thank you for coming from New Mexico.
Bumps, very big speed bumps, and then there's a big hill at the end, so they're probably going to stop.
Right, he said probably. So if you keep riding your brakes, your brakes will fail. So if you're carrying 40,000, 50,000, and some truckers, and we're not hating, if you can make an extra $5,000, you're going to overload your truck. But the truck has got to be inspected, okay? There are areas where the truck drivers go into, they're going to weigh them. And if you're overweight, you're going to get a ticket. The trucking company will be fined. You as the driver could be fined. And for me as a driving education instructor, if I get a ticket, that's going to impact me being able to teach driver's ed. And if I get too many tickets, I'm going to lose my endorsement for at least 2 years. I like making money. I like working. The trucker's endorsement is extremely important because if you're not certified, you can't drive and you can't make money. Okay? So merging early, you got to watch out for trucks. We got to make sure we get up and get out to speed. I need all of you to type in some of the things you learned from merging. Again, type in, everyone should be typing. What are some of the things you learned from merging on the expressway? This is your chance. This is not me talking to you. We are a community. We are here together. What have you learned? How do you merge? What shouldn't you do? What should you do? What are some of the common mistakes you have seen or you have learned? And you're still going to learn. We keep learning all of our life. We don't stop learning when this is over and the video stops and it's a wrap. If you're going to be driving for the rest of your life, you're going to see semi-trucks. You're going to see blown up tires. You're going to see truck and car accidents, unfortunately. And they happen across the United States. So we need to think defensively. And you got to be able to merge out safely, not cut off a truck. We've seen a lot of trucks get over to the middle lane when 1 or 2 cars come out. We've seen truckers who don't see a car and all of a sudden they got to get over. So I don't want you to be scared and merge out late. If you merge out too late, you're probably going to get cut off by the truck. And me as an instructor, that's one of the most scariest things, us dealing with semi-trucks. And you are like, I don't know what to do. I know what you need to do. Push the gas to the floor, but you get scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm glad you trust me, but we got to go. I don't want us to get ran over. And if we have to abort the merge, we pull over to the right side of the expressway, and that's a whole nother situation because there's glass, there's metal, There's debris. I had a young lady merge out, no cap. Some of my best drivers have been female. She merged out. She hit some debris on the right side of the road, blew out the front tire. I knew if we didn't get the car off at the next exit to the gas station, we were going to be in a dangerous position. We were losing air rapidly. And I told her, okay, push the gas pedal to the floor, turn on the four ways, and go. And she got up the ramp, and we just got to the gas station. And then I called my supervisor, and he said, thank God, you guys okay? I said, yes. And then they called a tow truck. So I've learned, don't have the drivers hug the white line. There's glass, there's debris. And 2 days ago, there was a ladder on I-94. Someone lost a ladder, and that will rip our tires apart. Imagine a semi truck, and then the truck jackknives, and now we shut down I-94. So we have to really make sure we're good, okay? Brake failure. Stay away from trucks if you're going downhill. It's stupid to cut off a truck. They can't stop. They're trying to downshift. They're trying to, type in what is the Jake brake. Everyone type in what is a Jake brake and why you should not cut off trucks, okay? And, you know, we have to, certain states have truck runoffs, certain states do not. It depends on your area. Everything costs money. We shouldn't have to put a price on life, but there is a mathematical formula that companies do use. It's a formula based on your age, are you male or female, and your economic earning potential. You didn't know I had a class on that. So if a lawsuit happens, companies have X number of millions of dollars waiting for liability, okay? Low visibility leads to rear end collisions. Stay out of the way of trucks. Oil slicks. Trucks, brakes for trucks. Brake slows down the engine's compression. You'll hear, no, 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 no. And when I hear that sound, I'm thinking that someone cut off the truck. Is someone about to get ran over? That sound is actually terrifying. So I'm trying to give you more cadence, more instruction. So leave trucks alone. Merge early. Watch out for narrow areas, okay? Also in a dust storm, zero visibility, pull over, okay? Get over to the side of the road, okay? Urban areas, new drivers misjudge space. A lot of you driving today did really well, but you misjudge space. Can you type in when you misjudge space? I need you to self-reflect. When did you misjudge space? And I want to have us going on the road, on the interstate, not so much in the neighborhood. When did you misjudge space? Can you type in when you misjudge? Or what are you learning about space? Can you type that in? Okay? So I'm asking you to kind of, when I didn't slow down fast enough for the car behind us, that could happen. But the most important thing, and this is going to be in your test, if you keep space in front of you. A lot of people are tailgating us, aggressively, men, women, at a red light. You will run out of room and almost rear end someone. And we know beginning drivers slow down late, they slow down hard, and low key, the driver's head car gets rear-ended a lot. I'm looking for more questions. I asked about the Jake brake. A lot of you are learning about the runaway ramps, which is very important. You should always be aware of merging. The Jake brake is an engine brake. It deals with compression, so you're using the own power of the engine. And again, I'm not a semi-truck driver. I have been in one to go to Buffalo, New York, right? And go through the tunnel and go through Buffalo, New York. But you don't want to be in that situation. Don't hesitate when you merge on. Speed of the traffic. But some entrance ramps are short, yes. Some areas of the United States are older. Some areas have more modern ramps. And you guys are starting to notice this. And then your parents will say, wow, you're driving really smooth. Yes, Mom and Dad, we've learned a lot. And then I try to tell them this all the time. Let's keep going. Cars slide under the trailer. The long story short, that's an industry problem with semi-trucks. Cars will go right under the trailer. We saw that on Scene TV, and basically you're decapitated. So don't tailgate trucks, because if the truck can't stop, they're going to hit those brakes and you're going to go under and it's going to rip the top of the car off and everyone's going to be crushed. We saw that on Scene TV, right? So don't tailgate trucks. Watch for the brake lights. And this is interesting, tire debris. Retreads cost about 200 plus crashes a year. Escape, swerve only if safe. Don't overcorrect. So you're probably saying, well, why do truck drivers and trucking companies do retreads? It's cheap. It's an economic thing. They can't afford to buy new tires, some upwards of $900, $800, $1,000. So in essence, you're saying, I love this trucking company, but they're putting my life in their hands. Just like me and the driver say a car, hey, I want 2 new tires. I want new brakes on the front. I want an oil change, because I know what you need as a beginning driver. And I know through the summer, we are driving a lot. I don't want to blow out at high speed. Thank God it hasn't happened. The closest one was when we were merging on the expressway, going about 45, almost up to 50, and we hit a piece of metal and it cut the tire. We're able to regain control, and I listen for the sound. Okay, let's keep moving. Rollovers occur on curves. You should back off of trucks. Don't follow them too closely on the curb. Maybe the driver's falling asleep. Maybe they're overturning the wheel and that trailer comes out. The only experience I have is hauling an 18-foot open trailer with my 1968 Gen 1 Camaro. And I know I want to be in the middle lane. I want to keep room. I'm going to move consistently about 65. I'm not going to be in the left lane. I'm not going to be in the right lane. I'm really increasing my following distance. So that's my experience, hauling and driving on curves. I didn't slow down enough. Thank you, Anna, for self-reflecting. Appreciate you. And if you don't slow down enough, you're going to go off the curve to the left or to the right. So you want to go slow as you get into the curve and go and accelerate out. Anna's self-reflecting, and that tells me she wants to get better. Anna, I'm going to give you a clap. I appreciate you. I have some questions in a moment, so be patient with me. Okay. High centers of gravity. Big trucks are carrying loads. They can tip over easy. New drivers misjudge clearance. Escape. Know your vehicle's height. A Jake brake startles new drivers. That do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. You're going to hear that, and you're like, oh my God, what is that? So, and I'm quite sure we can find it. Shifting cargo. We saw a ladder fall off. We're seeing wood hanging out of pickup trucks. We don't want to follow them. People lose loads all the time. Amen. I always believe in God. This is why we're here, baby. You believe in God? Amen. Drop-offs, shoulder collapses, grip the wheel tightly if your wheel drops off the road. That young lady who was driving, her front right tire dropped off the road. We hit some metal and it cut the tire. And she looked so scared. And I looked at her face and I knew. So I told her, gain control. I said, relax, lift your foot. I turned the wheel back. We still had air. It was rapidly coming out. I don't want to get stuck on the expressway. I told her, turn on your 4-ways, get up to speed, get off at the next exit. Because I don't want to be stuck on the expressway. That is so dangerous and so scary. Let's talk about mistakes new drivers make. Okay, 4-second rule. If passed, do it fast. Let's review again. My drivers who were driving today, share some of your examples, lingering in the no zones. Okay, we're not. I'm using some personal examples. Okay, Logan, right? Zach, okay, Brandon. They accelerated through. They didn't hang around blind spots. Push, don't hang around blind spots. Okay, and this is what some of the mistakes you do. Type in some of the mistakes you made when you were driving on the expressway with me or your instructor. Type in some of the mistakes. There's a little list here. I'm going to go into one. Misjudging speed. Trucks accelerate slower. Don't cut them off. I will never have you cut off a truck. That's death. So I want you to type in some of the mistakes you've made, right? Okay, we are never going to cut off a truck. I will never do that. If we miss the exit, we go to the next one. Okay, Panic braking causes chain reaction. An animal comes out. A truck driver will hit an animal. Some of them have the big aluminum bumper push thing. They're going to hit a deer or an animal is going to explode. Our car, it will damage our bumper, flip up, go through the front window, could injure us. Okay? So truckers, they're bigger, they're more dangerous. Hugging the left. Thank you, Jen's son. I appreciate you and your spicy sense of humor. Jen is stepping it up. She's getting better. I appreciate what Jen's son does because she wants to get better. And I can tell when I'm in the car with you, do you want to get better? Are you going to give me an attitude? Do you want to argue? No. We're not arguing. We are trying to get better. And we are trying to improve, right? White lines. If we have broken white lines, we can change lanes. If we have a solid white line to the right, that's the edge line on the road. Switching lanes too fast. Anna, thank you again for the self-reflection. Let the haters hate. But you want to get better, and you will learn. You're supposed to make mistakes in driver's seat. It says new driving mistakes. Please put in the mistakes you've made. Distracted by bulletin boards. That can distract you. Some of the bulletin boards are really unusual. You might stare for a second, right? The one thing I'm just mentioning, Anna, they drive a Corvette. And Anna said, hey, that's a Lamborghini. I'm like, what? That's a new vet. What? She knows cars. She's got a passion for cars. And I'm like, whoa, hey, there's the Cybertruck. I'm like, oh. So, you know cars, you have an affinity for cars, you care more about cars. Some of you don't care about cars, it's just a source of transportation, and that's fine. Not slowing down fast enough near an entry ramp or exit ramp. That's what a beginning driver does. I'm using Logan as an example. Really smooth, gradual acceleration, really checking traffic left and right. I'm applauding Logan because he was balling out today, right? And more of you are doing that. Notice I did mention Blake. Blake, we love you. There are other ballers in this class stepping it up, right? We're trying to get better. Flashing left light means okay to pass. You haven't seen truck drivers flash their lights. For instance, if you want to pass the truck, they're going to flash their lights off and on. This means it's okay to pass, right? So they communicate with us, okay? You always want to leave sleep deprivation. Truck drivers need sleep. We all need sleep, okay? It's really important that you understand this. Failures from anticipating stops. Truckers need 2 times the distance. Okay, I'm looking at all the stuff you put in. Switching lanes too fast. Hugging the left, hugging the right, hugging the right, hugging the left, not accelerating through. Thank you, Benjamin. Ben has really improved. More consistent. I try to shout you out. I only give you a glimpse. If I could have a chart with data when you went from drive 1, drive 2, drive 3, around drive, your score goes up and up and up, right? Because I see you getting better. I'm pushing you to get better, right? And it takes work. You got to work. Small vehicles are not paying attention. Facts. Thank you. You, as a small vehicle, a four-wheeler, get out of the way of trucks. You don't pay attention. You cut off trucks. You slam brakes. Get out of the way. And that's really important. Plan 2 miles ahead. Wrong lane exits. Plan 2 miles ahead. That's one thing I learned. I said a mile. Plan 2 miles ahead. For who does that? If you want to be a good driver, if trucks are blocking your exit, what are you going to do? Cut off a truck? Your car will bounce off the truck. So plan early for your exit. Over-reliance on GPS. That happened to us when we were driving. It keeps rerouting us and rerouting us and rerouting us. Truck drivers are traveling from state to state, region to region, and imagine your GPS not working or you missed an update. So we've got to, and you guys don't have paper maps anymore, Sophie or Graham or Nina or Grace or Emily. We used to do an activity with paper maps. Remember, I'm an educator. You guys don't read maps anymore. I used to pick up some maps from the rest area, and I would pick up 36 because I knew I was going to do a mapping activity, right? But you guys don't read maps anymore. You don't know cardinal directions. I'm an educator. You don't know north, south, east, west. You're like, Where do I go? How do I get home? Where's the school? And it's sad, but it's true. In your generation, you use the phone. No cap, no hate. But you got to learn your cardinal directions. All right, let's keep it moving. Short ramps, I-94, Detroit area. You commented on that. Left law cameras. There are more cameras across the United States now, 2 miles ahead. Parking legally to avoid fines. We switched at rest stops drivers. To the left are semi trucks, to the right are cars and trailers. A lot of you were scared when we stopped. He looks creepy. He just had a bandana on, right? But people are tired. You see people from New Mexico, Wisconsin, Kansas. We saw someone from Kansas today, right? So people are traveling across the country and they go to the rest 3, 4, 5 hours. Okay? So you got to really be aware. And you've been with your parents traveling across the United States. Deceptive curves. Signs underestimating sharpness. A lot of you tend to go a little too fast in a curve and you lose a little bit of control, and I'm able to squeeze the brake a little bit and kind of help you turn the wheel. But imagine a semi truck. Talk about some of the expressway driving mistakes you made. Reflect back. Talk about some of the expressway driving mistakes you made. Hey, if this is bringing you value, give us a thumbs up. I'm trying to get 10 or 20 thumbs up. We're deep. Thank you, WE Nation. How you doing? Again, type in some of the mistakes you made on the expressway or things you're learning. Limited EV charging. There are more electric semi-trucks, not necessarily in our area. And what they have a passenger in the front seat because of the Department of Transportation rules. And then the truck is driving by itself. So in case something happens, the passenger can get into the driver's seat. So we're getting there, but we're not there yet. But if we were out west, we're going to be driving along, trucks driving by themselves, but there's a kind of like the RoboCab, okay? But it's for trucks. Moose collisions. We don't have moose. Well, we do have some moose, way up. Don't honk, don't swerve. Moose, they'll damage your car. Now in a semi truck, it's going to blow it up. Moose, type in how much a moose weighs. Please and thank you. Type in how much a moose weighs. You're like, moose? Type in how much a moose weighs. If we were driving in Alaska, we have moose, right? Montana, moose. All right. I'm putting in what you put. A lot of you have weight. I'm going down to questions. And then certain areas of the country, they're known for pushing people through, carrying illegal. So they're going to have a traffic search. Trucks going through Canada. They're going to have the dogs come in and they're going to have the dogs come in and sniff that truck because they're hauling people. They're hauling illegal substances. So you've got to really be careful about this. So male mooses are 800 to 1,200 pounds. That's crazy, right? And a moose anywhere from 2,500 to 5,000 pounds. Yes, go ahead. Females are around 700. So if you hit a herd of moose, you might as well say your car is blown up. Your car is blown up. Bridge strikes. You've seen some YouTube, TikTok, Instagram videos on new CDL holders going in areas. They rip the top off of a truck. And that's the truck driver's fault. That is the GPS's fault. And that is the dispatcher's fault. Because the dispatcher will give the truck driver, also along with the maps, they will give you the safest route. Okay? So a lot of new truck drivers make wrong decisions, then they hit bridges. Okay? Yes, go ahead, Blake. Work zone fines. I'm on your head. Slow down in the work zone. Slow down. And truck drivers, if you're zoned in and you're locked in and you're trying to get to the Canadian border or you're trying to get to Vegas, you're pushing at 80. And then you just blow through a work zone, guess what? You're going to have a state trooper pulling you over and checking your logbook. You really don't want those problems. So fines are doubled in work zones. Now we go into some questions. Number one, what is your number one tip for new drivers on I-94, I-80? What is your number one tip for new drivers? Everyone type it in. What is your tip? Your tip. Okay? Give me complete sentences. What is your tip for new drivers on I-94, I-80? Okay, I need you to put in, what is your tip? Think. What is your tip? Let's keep moving. What is your tip? What is your number one tip for new drivers sharing the road on the interstate? Okay, you're going to see more trucks. We drive early in the morning. We drive mid-afternoon. We're not driving mid-evening. We're not driving at night. So a lot of you will be at a disadvantage because I don't have to drive you at night. Take your time. Don't follow everyone else. Thank you, We Nation. I appreciate you, We Nation. Make sure you are subscribed and following and looking at my videos. I want to get you on a podcast with me. Keep space around cars and trucks. The next question for new drivers, which danger surprised you the most? Again, which danger surprised you the most? You got to think, what danger surprised you the most from driving? And we're talking about new drivers. It could be in the interstate. It could be on the main thoroughfare. It could be roundabouts. What danger surprised you the most? This is self-reflection. And for me as your instructor, I see more drivers riding our butt, tailgating us, following distance. Amen. We're traveling at 70. We're trying to do our job, but some people are going 77, 75, 80. We saw a guy on a motorcycle doing about 100 and another car doing about 88. And they just zoomed past us. Now, I cheated. I used my phone's GPS to find out the speed, but they are flying on the road. No care, no protective leather. And if a car comes over or a deer comes out, they're done. Tailgating, I think, is the biggest hazard that we see. I see more of today. And many of you as beginning drivers, you have gotten cut off. Thank you for those hearts. Let's keep that baby going. Come on. I see a lot of you have getting cut. You're getting cut off. Not because you're too slow. Well, sometimes. Not because you're too fast. Well, sometimes. Just because people don't want to be around us. And you know what? They cut us off. They cut other cars off. And then we say, you know what? They're road raging. And we're driving along doing 50, doing 70. All of a sudden, a truck comes up in our blind spot. They're doing like 85 or 90. They cut us off. They go to the left. They tailgate. They cut to the middle. They're late. The number one reason why people speed is because they are late. A lot of you said cutoffs, pedestrian dangers, tailgating, road rage, speeding, people speeding, trucks taking off car tops. Let's keep going. For policymakers, let's think big picture. How could rest stops be improved to reduce fatigue crashes? How could rest stops be improved? Okay, a rest stop is where now, in our area, a rest stop has vending machines. You can get a hot cocoa, a coffee. You can get instant soup. You know, if you have $3 or $4, $5, that could be a meal to get you through for the next 6 hours. That could be a meal to get you through to New York or Canada or Texas or Florida. So if you have $5 or $6, you can get a whole meal, get some snacks in your car, keep you awake. I don't know if they sell energy drinks, but I know they sell different pops. Pops have caffeine. And sometimes I just need a coffee. And you know me, got to go through drive-thru. You know me. So in some cases, you just need a coffee to get you through, because if you eat, your body's going to start generating energy. And in some cases, when you drive, you're like, I am so hungry. You rest for 20 minutes. I am starving. You go inside, man, they got my favorite snack. Less distance in between. Usually, type in how far rest stops are. Are they every 20 miles, 30 miles, 40 miles? Type in what are the benefits of rest stops? What are the bad things of rest stops? Find that, like 50 miles between. What are the good things on rest stops? What are the bad things on rest stops? Type it in. I have horrible anxiety when I drive. Okay, anxiety when you drive, gradual exposure. You want to gradually be exposed. We want to start in neighborhoods, drive on major thoroughfares. Take your time. Weird people are everywhere. Okay? I drive some of you, you're weird. No, I'm joking. right? Grace is like, yeah, okay. All you talk about is Cybertrucks, bro. Right? So, but they're different people everywhere. And you think people look like you, they look like people look, right? They allow you rest, but you have to merge back on the expressway. Thank you, Carson. You can rest, okay? You can lock your doors, let down your window, but the problem is you think you're driving and then you really don't get a deep sleep, right? We're people, but okay, this is why you lock your doors, Sincere. They're not trying to get you, bro. You leave 1/8 of an inch. They're not trying to get you, but you always got to sleep with one eye open. It's true. It's true. They're not trying to do anything to you, right? But I think rest stops maybe may have more food selections. Rest stops reduce fatigue crashes. Thank you. I appreciate that because you're tired. So you go to rest for an hour or 1 hour becomes 3 hours. You're like, oh my God, I'm late. But if your body's tired, you need to rest, right? And then my sources are the NHTSA, Large Truck Crash, Casualty Study, the FMCSA 2022 Analysis of Truck Crash Hotspots, Google Scholar Peer Review, amen, right? Also, there needs to have more safety equipment on here, right? I'm gonna go down to the questions because I really wanna know what you're thinking. So I got some questions in here, right? How can trailers be designed to reduce under ride crashes? Meaning when your car goes under, it submarines under the rear. How can trailer designs reduce under ride crashes? Copy it, put it in, see what you find. Again, how can trailer designs reduce under ride crashes? Yes, go. Yes, 50 to 100 miles. You got to remember, a lot of my new drivers have not been out as deep as you, but I really appreciate you sharing and give this. We Nation, thank you. Do you do short haul or long haul? So we're talking about trailer designs, but here is the problem. It costs money. Type in, how much does it cost to modify the trailer design to reduce crashes? Now, some cars go under the long part of the trailer, okay? It needs to be a piece of steel. But a lot of truck manufacturing companies, imagine if you have 100 trailers and it costs $100 or $200 per. They're not gonna do all of those, right? What is the most overlooked skill for new drivers? What is the most overlooked skill for new drivers? Please put this in. Short haul, long haul? I would like to do short haul. Can you talk about your fuel costs and tires? You do both. How much are you spending in fuel? How many hours do you drive? Again, I'm not working for the government, so I'm not asking you to reveal secrets, but how many hours a day do you drive? Example, I drive 6 hours a day or 8 hours a day. I drive 3, then I take a break, recharge, hydrate, try to rest. Then I go back and drive 3, okay? Or I drive 4. I don't have to drive after class because it would just really exhaust me, right? I'm not chasing a certain number to make. I'm working smart, not hard. I'm driving about 25 students, but a lot of you are driving for a purpose. You're trying to get to a football camp. You're trying to get to a dance camp. You're trying to go to Cedar Point. Don't get stuck on the roller coaster, right? So you're going to take your friends on that trip. Defensive driving, awareness. So I asked you, what is the most overlooked skill for new drivers? I-80, I-94, awareness. Okay, I need everyone to type it in. I only see 3 or 4 people. What is the skill that is overlooked? Graham put in defensive driving, road rage. Jen had a question mark. All of you should be putting in this information. What is the most overlooked skill? Okay, I'm gonna keep it moving. How smooth someone is. Thank you, Leo. Should automated or self-driving trucks be tested? Should they be tested more frequently? Should they be tested? Because they are coming. They are coming. The ability to search for hazards. Sophie said speed control, right? Speed control. A lot of you said speed control. Heck yes, because our lives are in their hands. What you said, Graham? Yeah, boy. Yeah, Graham. I like you, Graham. Right? So IIHS, underride guard effectiveness. NHTSA, EV truck battery risk in cold climates. Journal of Transportation, 2025. GPS spoofing on freight routes. Right? Should training simulators be included? Meaning, should driver's ed include some type of app that you can download that you can practice, whether on your phone? And Zoom classes aren't going away. This is a virtual class. Should we have some type of app that you can download that in the beginning, I can measure what you do as an instructor and share with you every second or third drive, okay? Should there be an app? And, this is an opportunity for, should training simulators include specific scenarios, rush hour, wind, okay? I need you guys to talk about a near miss. Have you had a near miss? Type in your near miss story, okay? Type that in, okay? What is your near miss story that could have been deadly without quick thinking? Again, type in your near miss story that could have been deadly without quick thinking. And you know me, I'm letting more of you make consistent decisions. And most of you are making good decisions. I need you to do this because I'm preparing you tomorrow for the test. Didn't break quick enough. Thank you. Okay, what is your near miss story when someone pulled out in front of me? When I was switching lanes that I didn't look over my shoulder, then the truck crashed us okay, going too fast and not braking quick enough for the red light. Amen. Thank you, Grace, for self-reflecting. And we're only trying to get better. And then if your parents are here, they'll be really proud of you because we're trying to get better. I need more people to share that near miss story. Come on. Come on. I need that near miss story. My near miss story is with you guys, making sure you keep up your speed to make lights. What I'm doing, I scan the do not walk sign. I scan the intersection. And I think positive manifestation, but real talk, I'm looking at the speed of traffic. And I'm looking at a car getting ready to make a left turn. Some cars take it at the last second. Some cars wait till we go by. I'm looking at the front wheels of the car. If they're turned, they're getting ready to make that turn. So most of the time, if you guys keep up your speed, we are only, 10 and a half hours. Man, that's a lot. You told me to make a choice. I tried to stop, but I stopped in the middle of the road. So what are you going to do next time so you have a better decision? Good instructors allow you to make those mistakes. And if I shut all of you down, you're going to lose confidence. So yes, go ahead. So what I want you to do, Anna, tell me what you can do next time to make a better outcome, because we know if you run a light on your road test, automatic failure. You're not at that road test phase yet, but if I teach you to be consistent at lights, you're going to make a great decision. And one day you're going to say, that car just ran a light. And if I would have ran that light, we would have got hit, Mom. Oh, honey, you did good. Or, Mom, there's the police there. And if I would have ran that light, we would have got a ticket. You're right. Thank you. So you're going to see that. And so, Anna, what I want you to do is just have that self-reflect. Were you going too slow? Were you going too fast? Sometimes lights change rapidly, right? Should speed limits be capped for semi-truck drivers? I'm just picking a couple more. Should speed limits be locked for semi-truck drivers? Find some good things about that. Find out some bad things about that. Okay? In college, my roommate's friend, her dad put a speed governor on her car. We drove to Arlington, Texas, because I was at Wichita, Kansas. Her car could only go about 71 or 72 miles an hour. How did I know? I drove it, and I pushed my foot to the floor, and the car did not go any faster. I'm like, ooh, that's scary. So I need you to find out research. Should all truck speed limits be capped at 65? Yes or no? All my near misses are not having enough following distance. I need you to find information. Tell me why. Tell me why yes. Tell me why no. Okay? I think the biggest thing in having self-reflection is following distance. It's a one car length for every. I need you to find out some research. Why should we have speed limiters for trucks? Why should we not? No, because you need to. Nah, if you have to speed up to pass, the flow of the traffic is faster. No, because if you need to evade a situation, you're probably going to want to be able to move fast. Now I'm getting some more information. Can you put in the source where you're getting this from? Yes, because if the truck is big and it's going to take longer to stop, anything could happen. Yes, because it prevents crashes. It helps the truckers refuel. Ooh. Right? Yes, because it's reckless for trucks to go so fast, no matter the situation. Carson being hard on those semi-truck drivers. Right? Woo. Right? Because I saw a jackknife semi-truck coming back from Chicago, I-80. A semi-truck had jackknife, shut down the whole expressway. Right? What else is, what's something a car driver can do that terrifies truckers on these routes? What is something a car driver does, that's correct English, that terrifies truck drivers? Also, it makes cars feel safer because they can pass big trucks easier. Yes, Anna, we had, a lot of you saying cut off. Do you want to cut off and be crushed? Do you want to cut off? Hey, El, hey, how are you doing? Thank you for coming on. We just having a good old party here. We're talking about truck drivers. What is something drivers do that terrifies truckers? Cutting them off, merging in the lanes. And for me as an instructor, I've been trapped a few times with beginning drivers merging on, and it's really scary. And I'm looking in my mirror, oh my God. So I'm trying to make a decision. We're running out of room, and usually I tell the driver, just slow down, let the truck pass us, and we'll live again, right? That is serious. That is very, very serious. Okay? I want you to think about this for a second. Number 28, drivers' demographics. Are young drivers really risky, or is it lack of training? Think carefully. Give me some examples. Are young drivers really riskier, or is it lack of training? Think about that, because we know in Ohio, they're changing laws. In Florida, they're changing laws. In New Jersey, they're changing laws. There's going to be more training for 15 to 21 years old learning to drive, learning to get their license. Okay, and be honest. Be honest. And this is my deep dive into make sure all of you are really thinking. Again, are young drivers really riskier, or is it lack of training? Okay, I want you to go deep for a second. I think it's a mix of both. I think, and I'm going back 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, we've gotten out sooner. We've bonded as a group. That second and third and fourth drive, many of you had tremendous growth. Okay? Type in how many drives you have left to do with me. Again, type in how many drives you have left to do with me. 3, 0. I like them zeros because I got that green card. Right, 2, 0, 1, 1, 0. Like that, because out of 20, we have about 14 to 16 of you done. right? But those students at 1, we need to finish. Those students at 2 left, we need to finish. If you're at 3 or more, you still are a little nervous or still a little bit inconsistent. And that kind of shows you that your teacher's been putting in work, right? I think they have a lack of training. If a teen doesn't look left when turning right, they could easily go fast, almost get hit. That happens quite a bit. They are risky because the small things. Amen. Like that. Like that. Okay, I need you to type in 2 sentences. What did you learn today? And then I'm going to put this together as a quizzy. What did you learn today? I need 2 sentences. What did you learn today? Type it in. What did you learn today? I think it does depend on the driver. I'm going to put together this as a quizzy, so give me a moment. Type in 2 sentences. What did you learn? I think overall, guys, it was an incredible training session, and I have so much more information. And we, Nation, first, I want to say thank you because you gave critical information to help us learn about truckers. I usually drive 6 to 8 hours a day. You're driving 10 and a half. Whew, I know you're tired. And I'm tired too. So usually in the evening, I'm teaching class. Guys, I'm putting together a quizzy right now. I need you to type in 2 complete sentences. What did you learn? Type that in right now. I think just bringing awareness, and this class is kind of a special class, and I have a lot of you who are special for being on here and listening. Following distance is huge, and we are dealing with huge trucks coming from different parts of the country, and I think it's just a matter of really getting prepared for the journey of becoming new drivers. Can you talk to me, We Nation, about your truck driver training? Can you talk to me about that for a second? How long did it take? How much was it? I got a couple windows open, so I'm kind of multitasking, so excuse me. Again, keep putting your information in. I got to cut and paste this in the quizzy. So, how long was your driver's truck driving session? How much did it cost? Did a company pay for it? Did you have to pay for it? Give me some ideas about that. Please, that would definitely help us, if possible. And that would really help. Oh, I'm out of storage. I'm gonna have to delete some stuff. Guys, I have to delete some things in my quizzy storage thing. Give me a couple minutes because I want to put all this into a quizzy for you. So give me a couple minutes. I think it's really important that we all prepare for learning everything we can and really just setting new standards, and that's what I'm trying to do. My training was 3 weeks, and it cost about $1,800. That's not bad. Do you feel you had enough training? Again, guys, I'm trying to make space right now, so be patient with me. I'm going to put this in and get a quiz. So hold on. That's quite a bit. Did you come up with the money? Did you get reimbursed? Can you talk about that, please? Okay. And so, can you talk about that? Copy and edit. Because that's Right now, I'm going to give you guys a quiz to take, and then I got to delete some of these things in my, I have to delete some of these things that are in my account. So I'm going to give you a practice quiz right now. This is on visual attention. Okay, let's hit this for play. We're going to start this. And you're going to take this right now. Will this even play? Let's see if I can start it. Test mode, start. Okay, I need you to put your information in right now on this. You see the number, then I'll start it. Yeah, I really want to know. Could have used a bit more, but all in all, it was basic training.
How do I do this? My teacher didn't do this.
I know, because your teacher's not me. No, go to joinmyquiz.com.
Joinmyquiz.com.
Joinmyquiz.com. You see it up there. Do your educators use this in school?
Not really.
You need to tell them. Joinmyquiz.com. Put in the code 693828. 693823. And then I'm going to start it. That is very interesting. Okay.
Oh, crap. I need to make an account. Oh, no. What was the code again?
Don't you see it in front of you?
6938.
You should see it in front of you.
Oh, crap. I need to make an account.
You shouldn't have to. You should be able to just go in. You shouldn't have to make an account. And if you make one, the computer might think you're cheating and lock you out. So what I need you to do is just joinmyquiz.com. Use any device. You should not have to make an account.
All right.
Okay.
Join my quiz.
So it's really important. I want to ask you some more questions because I am learning a lot. So please stay on. Okay, guys, I want to start this. And in the background, I'm going to delete about 5 or 10 old quizzes. And then I can put this new one in because I really want you to elevate. So I'm going to go ahead and start this right now. And I'm going to get it going. So I'm going to start it. You got 30 questions. Please get started. No, I look like your daddy because I'm a dad. I'm not a grandfather. I'm too young for that. Age and experience. But when you're out driving adults, it's real, right? Hopefully your grandfather's intelligent, got a cyber truck, got money, right? No, I'm too young for a grandfather. All right, and it's really important that you guys continue to elevate. I'm going to try to do something in the background. But where are you from? Okay, what state? I'm from the Midwest. Oh, man. I'm going to open up another window. I'm going to stop sharing. Keep taking your quiz. I just had to open up another window. And I'm really, So I'm really trying to educate students and do a good job at archive. Okay. But I think it's really important. Can you talk about some of the training that you had? How was it? What did you do? What did you learn? How long? Copy and edit, archive, save. I'm trying to save some stuff. What are some things that you went through when you were learning how to drive that semi-truck? I'm trying to do 3 or 4 things at once, and I really would love for you to answer the question. You can copy and paste, edit new. Oh my God. Create new. You hit the 20 quiz limit. Create more content. You need to upgrade. No, I don't want to upgrade. What was some of the basic training that you went through? Can you talk about that for a moment? I really want to know because I'm educating new drivers all the time, and I really want them to be prepared. And I really want them to copy and edit, archive. Oh, this sucks. I'm trying to delete some of this. Oh, hold on. I'm trying to delete some of this stuff. So what else? Oh, I want to delete that. What else did you learn that made you a better driver? Could you talk about that? Oh my God, it's gonna let me do it. Import from computer. Okay, we're trying to get this done. What were some of the training things that you had that really prepared you for being a truck driver out there? Could you kind of share that a little bit? And that would definitely help me communicate this. Generate quiz. And for me, I'm always trying to use new data to prepare my students for what's out there. Yes, some of the questions can be weird. It's not going to be perfect because we're still upgrading the system, and I'm still on a basic account. Okay. Yeah, Carter, go to the bathroom. Don't disappear. But I'm trying to get people to share. And We Nation, I was going through the training, had to learn how to double clutch, yes, and paper logs. Do you use computer now? Logs are very. Oh my God! I got 100 questions. We Nation, that's great. We Nation, are you under 30? Are you between 18 and 30? You know, what's your age range? What is your age range? Or you guys keep going through that quiz. I was able to delete some things, and I do have a I-80, I-94 semi-truck danger quiz, 2020-2025 research, Google Scholar reports. This is really a good situation. It's going to help you understand what's going on. Some of it is a little bit foreign, but it's going to help you understand trucks, understands how to get better. How did you find my live? Was it recommended to you? Did the title kind of spark you? Have you been on my live before? Because I'm always trying to bring new people in, and you seem very active, and you're still relatively young. Are you working for yourself? Do you have your own semi truck? Are you working for a company? Can you kind of share that a little bit? That would be really helpful. Okay, that would be very helpful. And I'm just looking at some of these questions, and I'm going to flip the camera and show you. Switching lanes, you get honks, yes. I'm going to switch angles on the camera. So these are some of the questions that I have, right? You know, parking tickets, loopholes, truck path. So it's pretty deep. But remember, I'm teaching teens and adults how to drive, and we are on the I-94 corridor. We have a lot of trucks coming from Canada, going to Chicago, going through the Iowa, and they're pushing 65, 75, 80. And we drive from 8 to 11 in the morning. Indiana also, first time live in the process, buying my own truck. Amen. Love that. Love that. That's awesome. You know, independent entrepreneurship. I watch a lot of YouTube videos about truck drivers like yourself going on the long haul, the journey, me going through the I-80 corridor through Indiana to Chicago, how to ensure that we are good lanes. You want to have good speed control. You want to check your blind spot. Okay. You want to make sure that you are aware of your surroundings. Give me 1 second. I'm switching. I'm doing like 5 things at once. Okay, continue. Okay, I'm just checking where you are. I see most of you are almost done. Take your time. I do have another quizzy for you that I think is really going to take you to the next level and to prepare you. So take a few more minutes to wrap this up, please. You want to make sure you have good speed control. You don't want to hang around cars' blind spots. You want to accelerate through the lane change. A lot of beginners put their foot on the brake. Okay, if this is bringing you value, please give it a thumbs up. I'm trying to get 10 thumbs up. We're at 7. We have a great group of people in. I am blessed. I learned a lot from We Nation, learned a lot from E, just really sharing the community, because we are a community when we learn how to drive. And the fact that we have a truck driver on is just going to add more knowledge and help us really understand. Are you coming to live tonight again at 9 p.m.? I can. Usually I've been on since about 6:30, and I can go live again. Blue Hawk, why don't you subscribe, and then you'll get notification when I go live. And then I would love to maybe get one of you on the show. We could do a split screen. You might be able to click the link in the bio. I'm trying to get more professionals on the show to talk about the dangers of trucks and how we can grow to avoid some of the dangers. We'll figure out how we communicate. Are you on Instagram, Blue Hawk? Because this way we can reach out, and then what I could do next time we go live, I can invite you in as a guest. We could do a split screen. Blue Hawk, are you a semi-truck driver? Okay. And how many years have you been driving? Because really, I'm trying to do a collaboration. I had a mental health expert on. That was awesome. I had a game designer on. That was awesome. So I would love to have a truck driving person, a person who's been driving 5, 10, 12 years. All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and look at these numbers right now. I thought it was good. I'm just looking at all of you. So we're going to go ahead and end this, and I'm going to go through quickly. So listen. Okay, I'm going to end the test. And yes, I've always wondered, some of the dangers. Let me end the test. Yes. Okay, come on. Guys, I got like 20 windows open. So if my computer crashes, don't be mad at me. I got like a lot going on. Okay. Something blinked. Hold on. Sorry, I got a bunch of windows open. Give me a second here. In test. Yes. Okay. All right. Hey, classroom accuracy, 80%. 2 to 3 years. Okay. Let's go through this quickly. And then I have the truck driving skills, driving on the interstate. I want to get you on that. I think it's going to help you. It's a little bit long, but a lot of you say, hey, I want to get better. Okay, let's look at this quickly. All right. 80% accuracy. That's what I'm looking at. Okay. All right, which of the following is an example of an improper turn during a driving test? Swerving wide into an opposing lane. So you want to make sure you're in the appropriate lane early and you turn in that nearest lane. Next, what action will result in failing the parallel parking portion of the driving test? Being more than 2 feet away from the curb or mounting on the curb. Let's keep moving. Oh, hold on. Sorry about that. I got to share. My bad. I got too many windows open. Sorry about that. Why didn't someone say something? Come on. Man, I'm talking to myself. Grace, you're supposed to look out for me, Grace. Emily, you're supposed to look out for me. Sincere. You're supposed to look out for a brother. You got me talking to myself, man. Come on. Come on. Grace, you're supposed to be looking out. Come on. I'm going to look out for you guys tomorrow. I'm going to bring a little something. All right. Let's keep it moving. Which of the following is the example an improper turn during the road test, swinging wide into an opposing lane? Okay, turn into the nearest lane. Keep your turn short. And what have you said? What is the nearest lane? If you're making a left turn, it's by the double yellow. Well, what if it's a double left turn? If you're in the inside left turn lane, you turn by the double yellow. If you're in the second lane and making a left turn, you stay in the second lane. So you have to know that. Let's keep going. Driving with Myles, M-Y-L-E-S, We Nation. Let's type in driving with Myles. You'll see a picture of me from Vid Summit in California. Big smile. I got a little crazy glass on. Driving with Myles. Follow me, I'll follow you, and then we can talk. Okay, let's keep going. Which action will result in failing the parallel park? You're 2 or more feet away from the curb, or you're on the curb. Next. And I was able to have some of you go through the road test, the real road test. Ba-bam. Nina, you okay? You on that talky talk again. Come on. We trying to get it right. Come on. Emily, you okay? You looking tired. Your bangs are falling down, girl. Right. Sincere's like, bruh. Yeah. All right, I want to keep going. What is the safest following distance to maintain behind another vehicle to pass on the driving test? 3 to 4 seconds. 1 is too short. 10 is too long. No specific distance is required. Failure. You need to know this. What should you do to pass when stopped on the hill during the driving test? Use the park brake to prevent your car from rolling back or rolling down. Let's keep going. What is the correct action when you hear sirens from an emergency vehicle while driving? You want to pull over when safe. Pull over to the side. Exceeding the speed limit during the road test will result in automatic failure. What is the main reason stopping on the railroad is automatic failure in every state? It's extremely dangerous. What is the purpose of the road test practice list? To avoid mistakes and pass the test confidently. Which document is required to bring to the driving test? Your learner's permit. What should you do even when pulled out from a parking lot during the test? Signal before pulling out. When preparing to turn or change lanes, how long should you signal before making a move? 3 to 5 seconds. Very interesting. Which of the following is not a correct step when parallel parking? Hitting the curb. That's very interesting. I tell my students, stay away from semi-trucks. Give them room. Next, when merging onto a freeway, what should you do? Maintain speed. Match with the traffic. Some of you are still going too slow. How can practicing the test in an area help you during the driving test? It reduces nerves. It reduces your nerves. You become more familiar. And I try to prepare you for the test. What should a driver do at a stale yellow light? Stop safely. If you can't, you proceed with caution. You never slam brakes. Yes, Logan, go. What is considered a failing action when pedestrians are crossing at the crosswalk? Creeping forward while pedestrians are crossing. What is considered a failing action regarding adaptive cruise control? Misusing during the driving test. Letting the car speed during the test. You got to control your speed. What is the success rate of parallel parking when using reference points? 92%. We use lane line references. The white line to the right, the broken white line. What is the purpose of tactile feedback in driver's training? To provide vibrating seat, reminders of blind spots. Who benefits from the NHTSA approved tactile feedback? Hearing impaired drivers. What should be demonstrated? What should be demonstrated for wipers and mirrors during the pre-driving? All settings. You should know how to turn on the wipers, turn them off, how to adjust your mirrors. What is one of the instructor's notes for improving parallel parking skills? Needs more curb reference. You got to see where that curb is. What is the recommended practice for improving highway merging according to instructor's notes? Practicing third gear acceleration. I would say practicing more. The minimum is getting on, getting you off, getting on, getting you off. Graham, please type in how many times did you merge on the expressway? Again, Graham, type in the chat, how many times did you merge on and off the expressway? I just want to know. According to specific statistics, teens who trained with 3 weather scenarios passed their first attempt. Okay, 4, that's not bad. How much more is a fair weather conditions? You need to drive in fair weather conditions, rain, sleet, snow. According to the 2023 Minnesota study, what is the common mistake that causes 27% of test fails at 4 ways? Waving another driver through out of the turn. You want to wait through you're done with the turn. According to Safe Driving Alliance 2025, what percentage faster do Midwest teens with hazard perception app test training past 73%? So there needs to be more apps created to help more teens drive. Type in what you learned. We're going to see some videos now. Type in what you learned. Give me a couple sentences. I'm going to cut and paste this into a Word document. Type in what you learned. We Nation, I just want to thank you. We, again, Driving with Myles. It's on Instagram. Type it in. You follow me. I'll follow you back. We'll get you on the show if you prefer, or you could just have a little interview. We could talk on Instagram, keep it private. I just want to get a perspective of you driving, and that would really help to get these young drivers out there. I want to say thank you. It's been an awesome session. Bye, guys.